What is up, guys? I hope you're having a great day. Today we're here to talk about Blackout a bit, specifically things that I think could personally be done to fix Blackout. Not that it is broken, but it does need some tinkering to really improve it to the next level. Now, Blackout has been fantastic. I have been playing it since the launch, since the beta, and it is amazing. It is filling a hole in the BR space that has been heavily needed. Now, Fortnite, while it is a huge contender, has taken up a lot of that space, and objectively is, whether you like it or not, a good and well-constructed and well-ran game. It does not appeal to all players of the FPS Battle Royale spectrum, mainly because that game doesn't solely focus on traditional FPS skills like gunplay strictly, and is less about the tactical maneuvering throughout the game and more about close, in the moment, hot second quick reactions with the building, with your decision making, which again is a great skill set all of its own, but is not exactly the gameplay style a lot of people may be looking for. So with the release of Blackout, a lot of people finally got what they wanted. Really well polished gunplay, really well polished interaction between the maps, strategic locations to use throughout, and different ways of playing those strategies out and counterplaying your opponents in the game. But for all the polish there are still some issues that need to be fixed, in my opinion. So today I'm going to run down the top 5 things that I think the Treyarch can be doing to help polish out Blackout and make it the best it can be. It's going to start with some lower end stuff, and as we go through the video, it's going to tier up to things that I think absolutely need to be taken care of ASAP if Blackout is to keep succeeding, not just in the near future, but growing that user base over and over again. Number 1, this is definitely the smallest thing, but give us a timeline about all these skins. Now, they just released the Blackout Marketplace, and we have a new skin available there through tier 200, but there are all these skins that are listed from zombies, from just the straight unlocks like woods, from the multiplayer that we don't know when they're coming out. I don't know. I think, me personally, I think it's just a little weird that they're all there and they're like, hey, look at this shiny thing, look at this shiny thing, look at this shiny thing. Isn't it so shiny? And it's like, cool, but where is it? You know, like, I don't know. This is the smallest thing by far, but it's definitely something I've heard a lot of people talk about when we were playing. It's like, hey, it's kind of annoying that they're literally just sitting there. It's kind of like, when there's content being left out of a game for different editions, like the limited edition and stuff like that. It's not like exactly that level, but it's like, hey, the content's made, so like, can we earn it now? That sort of thing. Number 2, a training mode or a playground mode must with Fortnite. Now, this is going to sound like, this first statement is going to sound really weird, but it kind of leads into an idea that there is too much content in this game. And that needs to be explained into what this is that they should do. There should be an implementation of a way to just run up games and not be playing in there, just playing a free-for-all, no death, just a way to pick up guns and shoot them off, a way to pick up equipment, shoot it off, whether it's a different map, whether it's a special server. This is just something that can be really easily implemented what they're doing. Now, you have the pre-game lobby, but the pre-game lobby doesn't let you pick up any sort of gun like PUBG used to have, where you used to be spawning into one centralized location that had one of every gun. The big thing this leads to is the fact that these gunplay is different from multiplayer, so you can't just go in multiplayer and be like, okay, I'll test the guns that way playing multiplayer. Well, 1, the ranges are different, and 2, the attachments are all also different. So you really need to get a mode in which people can play with the guns, because a lot of people are spending time trying to learn the guns, and they're not actually getting to play the game because they're obviously taking concessions saying, hey, I may die now, but I want to try out something new so I can get better at the game. Or they're losing the game because they don't have the knowledge equipped to them to fully understand the equipment and the guns they're using. So having some way to implement a testing ground, a training ground, so that people can do that would really help in the future and allow players to really hone in on the specific skills they want, pick up a gun, try it out, be like, oh, I won't pick up this in the future, or oh, maybe this circumstance, without having to sacrifice the game they've already invested 5, 10, 20 minutes into just to get that data on their own, and then end up losing something potentially because they're like, hey, I want to try something new. Getting punished for new gameplay doesn't seem like a great thing. Number 3, the kill cams need to be adjusted. Thank you that there are kill cams. Awesome. That's amazing. Here's the thing. You need to add more information to these kill cams. Call of Duty, you've been doing kill cams for years, so I know you know how to handle kill cams. This doesn't seem like that hard, but specifically, we need to see the health of the enemy that shot us, updating health, and we can already see our own health in the kill cam, so let's see their health, let us see their armor, the same image we have, the level of destruction shown to that image, or you can show the bar too, but honestly, just the image alone would be great. because sometimes also you can't even tell what armor they're wearing, so just even that alone is great. And I need to know what the active perks they're running are. I need to know, do they have Reinforced on? Do they have Consumer on? Do they have Dead Silence on? Which we'll get to later, how that's also important. But I really need this information so that I can personally know what they did to outplay me, and I can use the kill cam as a chance to learn. And a lot of players, we don't watch the kill cam because we like getting shit on and we're masochists. I mean, some maybe, but not all of us. We watch the kill cam because we want to learn and improve, and really it's just a robbery because we have to speculate what we did wrong, or we just sit there and be like, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, because we don't have information to say otherwise and learn. Number 4, and I know this is a meme at this point, but we need 60 hertz servers. Like, this has to be implemented for Blackout. It's different with multiplayer games, right? Where, like, 60 hertz servers, package loss, all that stuff, you're gonna lose gunfights maybe like 1 out of every 4 or 5 gunfights, realistically. And that's actually kind of generous, considering a lot of people in the world, in America, don't have great internet, and thus it can be more susceptible. But for me, with decent internet, for a lot of players who play on PC like me for decent internet, you know, you are going to lose maybe 1 out of every 4, 5, 8 at like a pretty leisure number gunfights because of that. In multiplayer, that's fine because you're literally getting into 20, 30, 40 gunfights unless you're playing Search and Destroy in multiplayer, and that's all good. But when you're playing Battle Royale, it's a completely different thing. You're sitting there and investing this time into one game, where the one game matters. It's not about stats over time necessarily, it's how far can I go and push it in this one game. And to be losing that amount of gunfights is pretty like substantial, especially when, okay, so let's, like, you know, stats work differently depending on how you're applying them, but let's say it's you're gonna lose every 4th gunfight because of the 20 hertz servers, right? First kill, second kill, third kill. If you're not playing a hot drop, the 4th kill or 4th fight you would be in is going to be in the top 15, top 10, top 5. And then losing to that is just kind of stupid. Now, a lot of players, you know, they're just saying it's like a reverse placebo. Before they knew about the 60 hertz servers not existing, they thought everything was fine. But, like, honestly, just playing with my friends, it's very clear. They've been like, this is wrong, that feels weird, this feels weird. And it's justification. And they didn't even know what, like, hertz servers were. So I'll be like, oh, when that information came out, I was like, hey, you know, you were complaining about that. It's the 20 hertz servers, not 60 hertz. And they'd be like, I don't know what that means. And then you explain to them, they're like, that makes sense because here's an example of this happening, and that's a firm confirmation because that explains it away with pure clarity. And it's nice that we have that explanation now, but now we have to move on, accept it, and fix it, and move on. And finally is the biggest thing, sound. A lot of people have been talking about this. A lot of people have been running tests with their clips through straight capture cards, through straight graphics cards, as many things as possible, and it's all but confirmed, you know, like, as far as I'm aware, Treyarch, Activision, they haven't said anything about it. But there's basically enough information to say there is something wrong with the audio. And it may be on an engine level, which is the scary thing about it, which means we might be waiting a long time to fix it. But right now, there's 4 main issues within that. There's audio switching channels, so sometimes you'll be playing. I've had this happen only once or twice, but I've heard a lot of other players, especially on console, happening. We will hear something on the right side, and it's actually coming from your left, and vice versa. That's no go. Sound's not permeating. So, like, someone's, you know, indoor, and you can't hear them even though they're just like down the hall and downstairs, right? But you can hear the guy like over 2 mountaintops. For some reason, sounds are not permeating, they're not reflecting, they're not keeping their gain, or they're hitting something that's saying cut it off for some reason. Again, don't know what it could be, but it's definitely something happening. Reverse of that, crates specifically, and sometimes looting bodies, but crates are the things I specifically notice. I can hear someone open a drop crate or a random spawn crate from literally miles away. Like, we could be like 3 houses away, and I'll hear the like, I'll hear that sound at the opening, and it's like, okay, where are they? And the initial action is, shit, there's a crate near me, someone's crate, I'm about to get turned on to kill. Then it's like, oh, they're 3 houses away. Good to know, but I probably shouldn't know because I don't have awareness on right now. And on top of all that, footsteps, your own player footsteps sounding super loud, your teammates sounding super loud, and your opponent sounding super soft, or just not spawning in at all. And this is one of those things, right, where we can't exactly tell if it's an engine problem, though personally, I'm going to make the claim that I think there is an engine problem that is not loading in footsteps because I've got killed too many times from not hearing players that they can't all have dead silence. It just can't be possible. And if we had that active perk information, the kill cam, like I said before, we could prove it, but we can't. And a lot of people say, okay, well, what about playing awareness? Awareness makes these problems worse. It just amplifies the issues with the sound in the first place. And because you never know exactly if you're going to have issues or not, and it's not even clear if it's like, oh, if you're going to have issues, is there the entire game or it spawns halfway through? For me, I haven't, you know, focused hard enough, done enough research myself to see if it's something that just starts happening, stops happening, or if it's something that it's once you're in that server, it's going to be a problem throughout that entire game in that server. Not exactly sure. But awareness, because of none of this being consistent, just makes it worse. Sometimes it'll sound like a guy is like literally, like if you're like in a forest and you're behind a tree, it'll sound like the guy's behind the next tree down there, and it turns out he's all the way over the mountaintop. And it's like just way too wildly inconsistent to even be a problem solve for this, especially if the audio is broken on an engine level. So what do you guys think about all this? Do you agree or disagree with my ideas? Do you have like ideas of your own? Or is there things I said that like, hey, that doesn't sound right, let me tell you why? I would love to discuss that with you in the comment section down below. And if you really think these are things that need to get added, that need to get fixed, make sure to share this video out. The only way that they're going to hear us is if more people become aware of the issues, more people become vocal, but calmly, not like rage mom mentality, but able to discuss it in a very, very calm, intellectual manner. That is how we get good change made for our community here. As always, guys, you can find me at twitch.tv/TheMightyMike. I stream Blackout all the time over there. I tweet out my schedule at Twitter, The Mighty Mike, and Instagram, The Mighty Mike. Also, you have youtube.com/TheMightyMike right here. Make sure to subscribe for awesome content. As always, guys, be good to each other, and I'll see you later.